comments, but I'm just telling you, we got to get prepared. So let me tell y'all, we are behind the 8 ball when it comes to so-called white people and Esau and people like that. They teach their boys early on how to hunt and fish at a young age. You get what I'm saying? They teach their daughters how to become wives and cook at a young age, how to take care of their children at a young age, how to be, a helpmeet to their husbands at a young age. And they all get it really from us. We had to understand the information first, but they took it and they cut us off from it. So now when you look at, the Edomite dads, the so-called white men, in sports, they had their kids in sports and hunting and fishing and stuff like that. You're like, dang, they got like a system that it just flows. Like they whole athletics, like youth leagues, it just flows into when they get older, they can now handle business. They can fix things around the house. They can do different things. Our young boys can't really do too much of that unless you're a father that's really engaging them. Like I teach my boys everything from finance to working with their hands to reading to sports to music. I teach them on everything, world history, everything, because you don't never know what kind of skill you're gonna need at any given time. You feel what I'm saying? And we behind the 8 ball in that. They teach their kids emotional well-being. Hey, we got a lot of work to do when it comes to that. Like you're talking about, our culture is traumatized from no father at home, hostile, controlling mothers, abusive relationships, being teased at school for being smart, different things. Our culture has to break these cycles on its own. But everything else can be studied and duplicated, because guess what? These values that Esau had today, like I said, they came from us a long time ago. But if you look at the way they move, how they structure their houses, they, finances, different things like that. Y'all see it on social media. They be dropping little gems and stuff like that. They really get that understanding from us. But why do you think you see more of us in the South going horseback riding and stuff like that? Because we're starting to realize back in the day, somebody would have clowned you for horseback riding, probably like around the 90s, early 2000s. Somebody would have clowned you, but because there's so much information going on, that was actually us doing that. You see what I'm saying? We were the real cow. We were the first cowboy. Now we love horseback riding. Now we growing our own fruits and vegetables in the yard. Now we're sharing financial and investment information with each other. We waking up in small groups, y'all, but we got to get the ball rolling. You see what I'm saying? So back to what I was saying. We so behind the 8 ball. Esau they got deep freezers in their homes to store the meat, because how many of y'all are ready for the famine? Remember, when Trump shut down food stamps a few months ago, it was all over the news. Our people was not prepared. And I always say this. I understand if you have to get on food stamps. However, make it your business to come up with a plan that you can be stable aside from food stamps 6 months to a year from now. You feel what I'm saying? Get off them food stamps. That viral video was going around with the lady and her son, when the son said he wanted to work. And then the mom said, nah, you can't work, because if you get a job, it's going to mess up my free government assistance. I get this home, this Section 8, and, this free grocery money and stuff like that from not working, just not doing nothing with my life. And we just living off the government. Hey, you telling that boy, that young man, that the government is his daddy. You feel what I'm saying? He should always rely on the government. No, we can't do that, y'all. Can't do that as a people. We can't do that. I'm not saying government assistance is evil or anything like that. If you have to get it, I understand, but make a plan to get off of it down the line 6 months to a year. You get what I'm saying? So we got to prepare for the hard times. Now watch this. Some of y'all are on a basic level of being prepared. For instance, home protection. You might have a pistol or something like that. You might have an alarm system. You might have a dog. You have the basics. But Esau, I used to do delivery, right? And when I used to go to these rural areas, these little country towns, Esau has they ish together. They ready for something to go down. You know what I'm saying? And let's just say, your truck break down in a sundown town. Are you ready? We in the South. And even in the North, there are towns that y'all might not know about that y'all can't go. I mean, when you look at the history of this country, it was like that. We had to literally have to have certain places throughout the states that our folks knew we can safely stop at a motel or a hospital or what have you. You feel what I'm saying? Restaurant or whatever. But you have to be ready for, like I said, what if your truck break down in the sundown town? What survival tools do you have? And I'm not even talking about just a weapon. I'm talking about, do you have walkie-talkies to connect with your closest partners or your family back at home? Do you have some kind of source of communication outside of a cell phone? If the cell phone dies, do you have that? Does your wife, yeah, brothers, I'm talking to you, does your wife have some type of protection when she's at work or when she's not around you that she can use? Have you taught her how to use it? Does she have any type of protection? If she knows how to handle guns or, pistols or whatever, that's good. If she knows how to handle a weapon, that's good. But what if she's not comfortable with a weapon? What else can you get her? You can get her pepper spray. You can get her a button with an alarm on it. There's different things you can prepare. You have to prepare. You feel what I'm saying? That's why I'm telling y'all, all of this stuff is distractions, because they don't want you to prepare for what's coming next. They want you to be entertained. So let's say like your tire break down in a sundown town. Does anybody have any solutions y'all can add to the chat? For brothers and sisters that might have a tire that breaks down riding through a sundown town. What are your solutions? Let me see what you brothers and sisters come up with. Let's say you go camping and you need a drink of water for your family, and you ran out of all your bottled water. Do you just drink the water straight from the creek? Some of y'all up north, y'all don't know about this stuff. You see what I'm saying? Some of y'all out west don't really know. But in the South, we understand we need filter instruments in order to get clean water out the creek. Like we know how to live off the land like that. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm just telling you, you can go into a boardroom, you can talk about investments all day. Like I say, the average black man stuff, you could talk about this different things that would improve your life, and that's good. I'm not saying it's bad, it's good. But my brother, can you catch your own food? You get what I'm saying? The food that you don't have to necessarily buy. Can you catch your food? That's a question that you should always be asking yourself when it comes to your children and your family, because guess what? Esau is already thinking like that. They already training their little ones how to prepare to catch food for themselves, how to survive off the land, stuff like that. But our people rely only on the left wing and the right wing. That's what our people rely on. Y'all got to get out of that habit thinking that the left wing and the right wing is what's going to save